halfway through Playday 1 of Stage 3. 2 matches in the book, 2 more to go. Bliss versus Rhythm coming up very, very shortly. Kind of have high expectations here on Rhythm to maybe struggle against Bliss. Guys, do we share the same sentiment?
That's one way to approach. Yeah, high expectations on Rhythm like to struggle. That's one way to go about approaching this matchup. I want to change my prediction right now after you just said that. I want Rhythm to win this game.
Look, honestly, guys, though, Rhythm are a team that only picked up 1 point in Stage 2, and Bliss are the best of 1 Kings.
What? What did you just say? What? I can't with you right now. I don't even know what I don't even know what language you're speaking.
You've lost the plot. I'm going to go to Vast instead. Vast, how do you see this matchup? Surely you're on the Bliss hype train?
I did predict Bliss, but I don't know. Tonight has... I don't even know what's going to happen. The past 2 games so far have been pretty crazy. But yeah, I'd imagine Bliss will win this. I mean, they are the BO1 Kings for a reason.
Yeah. They certainly are. Guys, BO1 Kings for Bliss. For Rhythm, though, they're a team that, you know, can only go up this stage.
Kind of. Yeah, I guess it can't get much worse for this team. Now, they do have a roster change between stages 2 and 3. AFX jumping across from the now debunked LFO, and unfortunately, everyone's favorite player in the region, Supremacist, is now a free agent. Interesting enough, they've actually got a coach, I believe it must be, jumping on, Wood. That's news to me, so interested to see how much of an impact that's had on this team.
Let's go Wood. Yeah, AFX obviously want to keep an eye on. And look, there's some talented players on this roster, and I always do feel a little bit harsh for the, you know, the things that Guz and Manic and Dev all like to say about this team. But I think that this is a roster that is definitely capable of picking up more than 1 point this stage, and hopefully they can be somewhat, I guess, ambitious is probably the word, because at the end of the day, they can still finish over wildcard Guz, right? That's kind of the goal. If you can have more points than wildcard, you know, the promo rallo points, I mean, and the way that sort of works is they basically just need to finish above wildcard. Well, then they don't even have to go to rallies.
Yeah, LFO leaving the league has thrown them a little bit of a lifeline, right? Overt almost confirmed to finish in the bottom 2, so it's a really, really close contest now between Rhythm and wildcard. Wildcard have already shown last night, they're in very iffy form. So if Rhythm can pump in some good performances here, put all their resources into OCN, the only league they're playing in, they are a very, very serious chance in avoiding relegations. Now, a point as well I want to mention, Drex. He's back, the man, the myth, the legend. So I'm keen to see what impact he can have on the team, as he did sort of step away a little bit during Stage 2. So to have him back in is really nice.
Fast, I want your thoughts here on this Rhythm roster.
Yeah, I've always seen Rhythm as that team that, you know, they do have the potential. There's been so many games where they've just lost in OT against top teams. And it's been like that for a while. And yeah, I'm hoping that bringing in a coach and maybe making a roster change, and I'm hoping that they've taken a different approach to this stage. I do think losing Supremacist, though, has damaged their fragging ability. And I am interested to see and hear what their thought process behind this roster change is. AFX is typically more of a supportive player. So I am interested to see their approach to this stage. I hope that they kind of have that nothing to lose mentality. But I hope they carry a strong mental, because there is a chance that they can dodge relegations. And it's all up to them, really.
The last time Rhythm won a game was April 12th. They'll be looking to overcome this bit of a drought that has invoked this team. Their opponents, though, of course, the best of 1 Kings. It is Team Bliss. I'm going to go straight to Vast on this one. And the reason why is because this is a team that has had much debate around them. Much debate around this team, Vast. They're the best of 1 Kings, yet they're obviously best of 3 performances, grand final performance in Stage 2, left a little bit to be desired. They haven't obviously had any roster changes, but they do bring Spruce in. I want just your overall arching thoughts on how this team is going to shape up for Stage 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll do well. I think they'll win a lot of games in the regular season. I think what, you know, we'll find out is have they made a lot of improvements from playoffs, because I think versing Chiefs in that BO5 really highlighted a lot of errors in this team, especially with their having a diverse map pool, being able to, you know, adapt and conserve energy. So I think the regular season won't really answer a lot of the questions about this team. I think we'll get a lot of answers in playoffs.
That was kind of the mantra, I guess, for stage 2, guys, wasn't it, right? They kind of breezed through the regular stage. They technically went 6-1. They had 17 points. They had plus 15 round differential. They had all of these things go their way. They get a spot straight in the grand final. They won 7-2 against Chiefs in that opening map as well. And then after that, 7-3 loss, 7-2 loss, 7-4 loss. And then that was it. In the end, it was the map pull that was the difference. Is that probably the conditions they need to work on in this regular stage? I guess widening their map pool?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think that has to be the case. I would even argue that the fact that we now have 3 reworked maps in the pool, sure, Clubhouse hasn't really changed too much, but at least the other 2 have significantly. That does give them an opportunity to finally really dig deep into this map pool and find maps that work for them. If they want to be any chance of knocking the Chiefs off that top pedestal, they really need to work on their map pool. Now, that's probably a discussion more so to have down the line in terms of playoffs. Focusing in on best of ones, they're still going to be very, very comfortable. With Spruce jumping on board, I can only expect that the team's going to go on an upwards trajectory. If they start losing games, we can blame Spruce. But yeah, expecting same in the reg season.
Same, but different. Let's have a look at the maps here for this particular game. Of course, fortunately for Bliss, they only have to play one, guys. And it's going to be Chalet, where we will be heading. Looks like Rhythm had the final ban. They took out Villa. I'll go to you first for this one, guys. Any surprises here? Any expectations? What's your thoughts on the map, Vito?
Well, Chalet was the least played map in Stage 2. OC teams seemingly not really wanting to head there. I can only assume that part of that was off the back of Apex South teams not wanting to show too much on this map, but now that it's kind of fleshed out, it's got an established meta, we'll probably see it played a little bit more. I don't really have much to comment in terms of head-to-head or map history, particularly on this map, but keen to see it played out. Chalet, very much an exciting map, can open up significantly for the attack, so just keen to see it played out.
Doesn't look like Rhythm has played Chalet at all so far. Stage 1, Stage 2 of OCN. For Bliss, though, Vast, they've only played it once. It was actually a loss against, you guess who? It was your Chiefs, where they lost that particular game. I guess this is kind of going back to our previous discussion where this could be Bliss looking to broaden their map pool.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. Same with Rhythm. Maybe a lot of these teams have, decided that they want to, make their map pool more diverse. I think something to note as well that no team wants to play Bank, which is such a shame. I want to see Bank.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
We did see it 3 times, I think, in EUL today, so there is a real possibility that we do see it soon. I guess in local leagues, it might take a little bit longer before we see it. We'll see it regionally probably first, but yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. Please, Bank today or tomorrow would be great.
Final thoughts, Vast, before we let you go. We get into this game.
Yeah, I think Bliss are going to win pretty convincingly.
That's probably a very astute observation. I would have to agree with Vast. I definitely can't disagree with him. Let's head into Chalet, though, for our third match of the day. It is going to be Bliss versus Rhythm. All expectations on Bliss, of course, the grand finalists from Stage 2, looking to maybe go one step better here for Stage 3 and take the crown for themselves away from the Chiefs. Rhythm, well, it's anything but up, really, guys. They only picked up 1 point in Stage 2. No wins at all, whether that be regulation or overtime. That's got to be their goal, I think, for Stage 3. Find a win somewhere.
Yep, and every single point for Rhythm critically important in looking to avoid relegations. It's basically a 2-horse race between them and Wildcard. It's a big storyline that we'll be tracking throughout this stage, but take a step back, looking at the bans, Thatcher and Sledge taken off the board first. Thatcher, a blanket ban basically across every single map, and Sledge very potent here on Chalet. A lot of opportunities for the Vert to be played, forcing teams now onto the Buck. An interesting ban followed up though here onto the Frost. That's 1 shotgun, 1 shield taken off the board, and those traps will no longer need to be dealt with. A little bit peculiar there. I don't know if that's necessarily a target ban maybe against Rhythm, something they've spotted in scrims or elsewhere, not too sure, but we might to round things off pretty typical. Again, forcing teams onto Jaeger.
Do you want a fun fact with Xanox?
I always love a fun fact.
Always love a fun fact. Well, it's not so much a fun fact. It's a bit of a sad fact, in fact.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately. Both teams on a bit of a losing streak here. Rhythm, obviously, as we already sort of pointed out, have not won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 games that they've lost in a row. And for Bliss, technically on a 3-game losing streak. If we think back to the grand final for stage 2, they lost the final 3 maps in a row. So from a technicality standpoint, Bliss need to find a win just as much as Rhythm. Rhythm definitely more so those 7 losses in a row. Their last win actually came against LFO. That was 7-5 on Oregon, as I said, on 12th of April. So on the defense first up here for Rhythm, we'll see if they can break the duck and find a way to find a win. For Team Bliss, though, they are by far the favorite. 75% on the HP Omen community vote. Of course, if you guys want to get involved on that, we've got one more game to play after this. If you want to join in, of course, head over to @R6 Esports OCN and @Omen by HP_ANZ on Twitter to vote on the next game to follow, which will be Chiefs and Wildcard after this game.
5 seconds remaining.
In terms of operator selections heading into this round for the side of the defense, Alibi being bought by AFX, indicating a bit of aggression here potentially. MX4 Storm with the 1.5 scope. Definitely quite strong, and in fact he's going to establish himself inside a backstore. He can watch the library vault in at the double window if he wishes to hold that position. Elsewhere, we did see the Tachanka being used to generate setup. Again, good area denial. Bliss though, aggressive already over towards Solar. Repix, interestingly enough, on Nook, not looking to sneak in from down below. Instead, on the rappel, maybe looking for something early here. Now, we don't typically see Solar attacks here in OCN. It's normally library side across, but Bliss going for something a little bit different.
E1D deployed. Obviously, we touched on it in the map veto stage, but Chalet, not a map that either of these two teams have really seen much of for Team Bliss. Last played it in the stage 2 grand final against the Chiefs, losing that one. Fortunately for their sake, it's going to be the second E1D. That was a 7-4 loss, so not entirely embarrassing. In fact, it was one of their better performances against the Chiefs, despite the 3-1 loss in the end. Minute 45 on the clock here so far. Not a lot has actually taken place. Wouldn't be surprised to see this take a few rounds for this to open up. Jigsaw though. And along with Repix looking to pinch Leb and successfully have accomplished that now inside a bathroom.
Control obtained by Repix. He can lurk now. Maybe even find a pick inside the piano, especially if Rhythm are unaware. Here we go. Moves forward. You can now hold this cross. This is so powerful. Bliss can basically now think about getting that plant down in bedroom. Yes, bit of a thorn in the side. Drex behind that deployable shield, but if he's cleared, Bliss have basically free real estate on site.
A minute left here. Opening round of our third match of the day. Cool. Holding his position.
He has no idea that Repix is here. He has no idea.
Well, they obviously know they lost control of the bathroom, so it's not out of the ordinary, but you can definitely tell by the way that Ghoul is holding that window position. If Repix does swing, he will probably find a kill. By the way, Todd's on site, and Ghoul ended up just running straight past Repix. Great observation from Guz. Catching that one, and it's a flawless round. Well, that one was a little slow to get going, Guz, but in the end, as we got down to the final moments, Bliss just pulled them apart.
Yeah, I questioned the approach there from Bliss, sending Repix in through solo, anticipating that might be a little bit risky, as opposed to, you know, going down through main garage and maybe up through west main and then up the stairs. But it worked. It accelerated the process there of taking control. And once the double window cross plus Repix himself were established that foothold there, I mean, yeah, very difficult to deny the play and retake site. So really well played by Bliss.
Really?
Yeah, it really was. Can't fault them too much on that round. So unfortunate for Rhythm, but they can go over towards bar now.
I mean, we're seeing quite a bit of Nook tonight. I think more than we saw in stage 2 entirely. We've seen it on Oregon, now we're seeing it here on Chalet, and we're seeing it actually be quite effective.
Yeah. We do see it occasionally here on Chalet. One player in particular that does come to mind is Digital. I know likes to play him on the entry, particularly down through basement. I guess roam around, try and find picks. Bit of a lurk, but yeah, it seems to be quite prominent at the moment and does offer quite a bit to the attack.
Of course, Ubisoft Australia is proud to once again be partnering with Livin. It's a mental health organisation dedicated to breaking the stigma around mental health. You can support Livin by following them on social media and wearing their merch like us. Got my shirt on today. OCN viewers can also take advantage of a great offer. Use the promo code OCN15 at checkout to receive 15% off. Simply type !Livin in Twitch chat to visit their online store. You too can stay living in style, which is probably something Rhythm will need to do, is to figure out how to stay living against Team Bliss. It's going to be proving to be quite difficult here. I think Bliss, a team with high expectations this stage.
Oda finds the opener there onto Novaics. Pillar control lost, I believe. Repix can look to lurk from down below. Cam taken down. Good start here for Bliss. They can really start to work off this. Plenty of time remaining. If they gain control up above, clear out top library stairs, then they can really get a lot of work done, particularly on the vert. So that's probably going to be their goal. And if Repix can lurk once again down below, cut off any potential rotations, that'd be huge. Oh, drone hole. Whoa, okay, cool. Taking a lot of damage there. Tapped a couple of times in the toes by Todd. Good work there to inflict some more damage and a bit more pressure on towards Rhythm, who are yet to trade back that opening pick.
Do they really need any more pressure than they've already got applied to them? Well, how about one more kill to the side of Bliss? Oda off to a great start here, 3 and zip. And this Bar Games defense is being pulled apart, just like the prior round. It's not as if this map is super attacker-sided. We've seen defenders do well on certain sites. EE1D deployed. All very much low in health. AFX and Leb expected to really need to stand up here. But you can see pretty much from above that mezzanine completely open. Top of library stairs not really being held because Leb's worried about down below. Everything has just been completely opened up, Gus.
And at this point, Rhythm are all kind of just sitting around waiting for something to happen. At this point, you just need to try and send it, try and find something back. At the moment, they're just waiting basically to get picked apart, to die, and to lose the round. So someone here needs to step up and go for something.
This could be the go time as well with the final EE1D deployed by Jigsaw. Todd over towards this big window with Shade. Don't even know if anyone's watching in sight. No one inside a bar stock from what I can see. In fact, there might be one now. That would have been Ghoul, who's now dead. Rapix with 2 and putting that Nook to good use. Well, 2 flawless rounds in a row. For those maybe who thought I was a little harsh with our introduction of this matchup, you can kind of see why. Not a good start for Rhythm, Gus.
Yeah, great analysis. 100% on point.
Thank you, man. I'm trying. You know, I appreciate it.
You're just
got
getting
my
ready.
color glasses on for tomorrow night.
Getting ready
me
for
and Manic.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing color tomorrow night?
I will be.
Oh,
yeah.
God. I might have to mute the stream.
I would probably just mute it anyway, because who wants to listen to Mannequin and who wants to listen to me, really? Let's be real.
Nah, I'll leave it on. I'm sure there'll be some good content tomorrow night. But yeah, focusing back in on this matchup, and Bliss just completely overrunning their opponents. And like I briefly mentioned before the final play there, when you're at that disadvantage Rhythm, they were in that 3 versus 5, we could see all of them just playing static. And when you're in that position, you need to just try and manipulate something, go for something and see if it will stick. More than likely it won't. You're probably going to lose the round, but you've already put yourself in that position. Playing static and just getting torn apart by Bliss, who have the initiative, never going to work out. So not really liking what we're seeing so far from Rhythm. That said though, they can try and reattempt up above. If they can counter the solar push that we saw last time from Bliss, then they'll probably have a better time.
5 seconds to go.
Yet to find a kill so far in this match for any of the Rhythm players. It's been 2 flawless rounds from Team Bliss. And that's probably what Team Bliss would love to have off the back of what was, you know, a very disappointing grand final in the end, losing 3-1 to the Chiefs. There's not too much disrespect in that, honestly, because the Chiefs are such a awesome team that it was always going to be a difficult obstacle for Team Bliss. But this is really all they need to do, is just keep stomping these best of ones, get back into that position, finish on top again, get straight back into the grand final. That's really where you want to be. And then prove yourself where it really will matter. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to back in Bliss to win the grand final until they actually do it. So whether they have a good regular stage or they have a bad regular stage, doesn't make a difference. So you may as well just have a good one and get back straight into the grand final. 4-zip from Oda, 4-zip from Repix, both having big impact so far. 5 versus 5 here, 2 minutes on the clock.
Similar setup once again from Bliss. Repix on the solo repel, double window being held by Shade on the cross. And Makes things very, very difficult. AFX in a compromised position, looking to try and hold on to bathroom control as long as possible, but Jigsaw as well on that balcony to the west, pinching that position. That gives free real estate once again to Ropix, who'll likely look to roam and lurk again inside of bathroom, take that piano control and get that across. AFX spotted as well here by Shade. Bliss are just in such great positions, and they still have so much time to work with.
Going to be difficult for AFX to readjust and rotate away from that spot. Pinged out. Player inside piano. Here for Rhythm. AFX down below as well. AFX still inside of office, but yeah, as you said, Bliss have got everything surrounded. AFX
He's dead.
literally cannot move an inch backwards. Otherwise, his Tushy's going to be blown apart. Ghoul will find the opening kill, though, for Rhythm in this match. They're on the board, and it gives them a one-man advantage with 1 minute left in the round. Can they capitalize?
Really good coverage there from Ghoul. If he didn't play that position, AFX would be in the grave. Nonetheless, they're Bliss now. They're on the back foot. They need to try and go for something. Opening up this wall in Solar, proving to be a challenge. Shade is on the double window, so he can't use his summers on the wall, and regardless, it has been electrified by a claw. Can't tell, of course, if it's positioned up above or down below. I would assume down below if Novex is holding that position. Either way, though, 30 seconds now left. Bliss likely will need to try and force their way in towards this B objective, see if they can stick something.
We're under 20 seconds. You would probably back in Bliss to hit their shots here, but Ghoul's got 2 from that piano position. Todd got 1 back, but Ghoul is just launching off here into space. He's got 3 for the round. Still only a one-man advantage, but Drex gets involved, so does Leb. Much better from Rhythm in that particular round. Able to fight fire with fire against Team Bliss. They're on the board.
What a round from Ghoul, playing that piano position. It's really the one place that they need to have really good control of if they want this setup to work and to try and counter this push from Team Bliss. He did really well in covering AFX, which nullified the position on the double window. He then found another great pick to reclaim bathroom. That then opened up the opportunity to deny the plant. So it all just links together really, really nicely there for Ghoul. Made it work in the end. Still a little bit sketchy. I would argue that part of the reason Bliss were unable to win that round was because they just didn't really bother to deal with the Kaid denying the wall. They also had Shade position on the double window as opposed to in Solar, so they couldn't even open up the wall. I would argue that that Todd on the Capital probably should be playing that position. I'm sure there's great reasons why they're not doing that, so I'm absolutely talking out of personal opinion here, but either way, didn't link together, and yeah, really well played by Ghoul. I think he was definitely the standout there, allowing Rhythm to win that round.
Yeah, and it just fills them with some confidence, because I think when you come into the server and you lose the first 2 rounds, both flawless as well, both very convincing, probably does a world of good for confidence, and that probably at least is just like, all right, bit of a sigh of relief. We're not that far ahead of this. It's now only 2-1. They're not going to be able to get ahead of themselves. We've stemmed the tide, stemmed the bleeding, maybe even stopped some of this momentum. Now we can play off of this. And so for Rhythm, they can actually find some rhythm here. They're of course going to stand above here for this kitchen dining defense. Pretty stock standard for most teams. We'll see what Team Bliss has got to crack it.
We've been seeing quite a bit of line in the current meta. We saw it in Apex South. We're seeing it in a few of the other regions, and it seems to be transferring now in towards OCN. Jigsaw, again, huge fragger, was a fantastic player in Stage 2, MVP in fact. And not only does he have a fantastic primary weapon in his hands, but at the push of a button, he can essentially freeze the defense, allowing them to be choked up a little bit. First of those E1Ds will rain out. AFX now pinned inside of Piano. Shade loving this repel. We'll cut off that position. It'll be up to the rest of Bliss, really to apply additional pressure. Again, Repix on the Nook, seeing what he can find. Cheeky ankle as well. Through West Main in towards that kitchen corridor from Jigsaw, but he'll fall off that and again aid the rest of the team here in the clear. Oh, jeez.
AFX has not had an easy time of things so far. His first couple of rounds, he'd like to get on the board here, get 1 back, but also just play his role. Jigsaw, very aggressive position if he can. Oh, that's as easy as it comes. Silently just creeps up through the window, gets the kill onto AFX, and His woes do continue here. Advantage for Team Bliss. Obviously, Jigsaw will know there's a player top library, ends up getting the kill onto Lev. And now it's 5 versus 2. And how quickly things can change, guys.
That's rough for Ghoul there. I think ideally he needs to try and get out of that position. They already wasted half the round. If he makes his way back towards site, Rhythm wouldn't have been in the worst of positions, but with 2 members falling, now things get tough. Fortunately, Novakes does find Todd, at least in the 2 versus 4, so it's not unwinnable. Drex with the C4 as well. Jigsaw, though, Westmain finds a kill. That angle is absolutely disgusting. Oda cleans up house. Bliss take the round.
Do you really expect anything different, though, guys? Really? When Bliss are on, it's hard to stop them. They've got so much frag power. Oda, Jigsaw, Rapix on display once again there, and they now take a 3-1 lead here on Chalet. And honestly, again, kind of like the first 2 rounds, very convincing. So far, the round that's kind of been an anomaly was that 3rd round, which Rhythm were able to take. And it was really the only round that Rhythm were able to kind of stall out Bliss for a moment in time and then capitalized after that stall. Bliss, in the other 3 rounds, have really just hit that go button from the start and have taken over everything. And ultimately, just continued able to find these kills with ease.
Yeah, just the persistent pressure here from Bliss, really outstanding. And honestly, it really just feels like they're picking up the best of 1 form that they left off with in Stage 2 and even further back in Stage 1. So, yeah, positive signs for them so far. The players that are stepping up and needing to. Oda's actually standing out so far, playing quite well. Repix as well, finding quite a bit of success on the Nook, proving that the FMG with 1.5 scope, really, really powerful. The ability to lurk around on Chalet, really, really powerful. Rotating is difficult enough, but if you don't really know exactly where those attackers are positioned, really increases that difficulty tenfold. So they're playing into that strategy and that game plan really, really well, and Rhythm are struggling to cope with that a little bit.
Once again, it's on Rhythm to see if they can find a way to halt this momentum, get another round back. Bliss are just tearing them apart, really. Does certainly feel like if Rhythm can find an early pick, that can just be enough to maybe slow down the Bliss onslaught. Oda 6-1, Rapix 5-1, Jigsaw 3-1. And they are on song. They are hard to beat. They are hard to stop. They will find kills. They'll be aggressive. They'll push in. They will keep the pressure on. And we're seeing this Nook again just be so successful.
Setting up a sequential breach.
Ooh, good combo here. The Sun was plus the grenade. Ghoul survives. I could have sworn that nade landed on top of him. Either way, though, it doesn't quite do enough damage to kill him. In fact, doesn't really do any damage at all, but that position now exposed as second Salma will be deployed. Repix does fall though. Drex and AFX, 2 players down below. If Repix has spotted them both, he can call that out to the rest of the team, and Bliss might be able to take some more map control. Elsewhere, Jigsaw looks to capitalize, but slowed down by that gas babe. Oda not really wanting to vault in here, Vert down below. Bliss struggling a little bit to find footholds at the moment. Someone needs to step up, try and find a pick or 2, and really establish a foothold in towards the map, because at the moment, literally everyone is locked outside.
Changing mags.
Except for Jigsaw. He can do damage.
Yeah, and this is what I sort of mentioned at the earlier portion of this round. Rhythm getting that opening pick just slows things down a bit. More than enough to now maybe even capitalize. They do that. AFX has now 2 for the round, which is great for his own personal beliefs as well. Started very slowly in this match, but 2 big kills when Rhythm needed them most. Makes it a 3 versus 5. Rapix, Jigsaw, both eliminated. Oda still roaming around and has been a menace in this match, but under 40 seconds remaining, down 2 players, trying to reconvene with the diffuser. It's probably a bridge too far here for Team Bliss.
Ghoul in a bit of an off position. A Drex in backstore could pose a threat, but no, those angles earlier will serve Shade well. Narrowly misses the second pick. Bliss still at the man disadvantage. Ghoul will look to swing double windows. 1 player has vaulted in. Oda still popping off,
down.
Traded up above though. Ooh, a flank down below.
What?
Ghoul shut down. It's Shade sweeping through late. 10 seconds left now as AFX looks to try and deny that diffuser. gets one pick, leaves it in the 2 versus 2 with 5 seconds left. It needs to be reclaimed, but the timer continues to tick down.
Yeah, no
Shade
time.
left all alone as Oda's still down, up above. There's nothing that he can do, and Rhythm will claim the round.
Yeah, no time in the end. Well played by Rhythm. I think they've actually played the clock really well in that particular round. Bliss almost did some Bliss kind of things, getting a few cheeky kills to bring it back. They had a 3-on-2 at one point. Oda, as soon as he did get that 3-on-2, though, did go down. So it was technically a 2 versus 2. Overall, really good round from AFX as well. And in the end, Rhythm deserved to win that round. They make it 3-2. They've got an opportunity here, guys, to make it 3-3 at the half. Which, considering the rounds that Bliss have won, the 3 rounds they've won, I mean, that is staggering.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's one of these matches where you sort of sit back and watch it and you go, yeah, Bliss should be just, smashing, should be 4-1, 5-0, but not the case. Rhythm finding rounds here and there. The wins that Bliss have claimed, again, as you mentioned, or alluded to, they have been very dominant, a couple of them flawless, in fact, but the ones that are a bit more 50-50, Rhythm are just being able to edge out. And a positive sign in that most recent round was it wasn't necessarily off the back of a single player going absolutely huge. Their previous round win before that was Ghoul going nuclear, finding that 3k, but just in that previous round gone by, a much more well-rounded team effort. They fell off the holds that they had, repositioned in towards site, managed to make it work, show composure in the late round, and that's really what you want. So yeah, in a great position to maybe even out the half. I can't believe we're really saying that considering the start that Rhythm had.
5 seconds to go.
An opportunity does present itself, and Bliss is probably a team, when we speak about mental fortitude for a lot of teams in OCN, guys, there's a few that pass the test. Chiefs, Knights.
Who's
Chief? Calm down, Chief. But Team Bliss, are they a team that has that same level of mental fortitude as a team, like the Chiefs, like Knights? I'm not so sure. I don't know if that's been proven. I think that they could actually be capable if Rhythm find a few rounds, get some momentum. Bliss could crack.
Maybe. Make a fair point. The thing to note is that last stage, they literally only lost one best of one. It was in the final Playday. So
yeah.
It's difficult to know if their mental has been tested all that much.
Nice shot.
Yeah, not bad, especially onto the MVP of stage 2. Not bad.
Bit of a slow start, actually, for the MVP. Jigsaw just 3-3. Oda has stepped up in his absence, though, at 7-1. And again, though, advantage for Rhythm. Although, Cast the Curse does not last for too much longer as Shade finds the elimination onto their Vex. This is what makes Bliss so good, though. We speak about Oda, we speak about Repix, Jigsaw, but Todd and Shade are more than capable of fragging out, playing their roles to such a high degree. And again, I've done it. Shade dies now.
I was going to say as well, before any of this Caster Curse happened, that maybe us giving Jigsaw MVP is the ultimate Caster Curse, but who knows. As we stand though, 4 versus 3 AFX inside a piano with a very powerful cross, but Repix again lurking inside of bathroom needs to be shut down. Now has the cross as the flank goes down.
Attackers are
Well,
activating the bomb.
not even a minute remaining. There was about a minute 15 when that plant does go down for Team Bliss. Just kind of throws this round now in disarray, unfortunately for Rhythm. Lamp, though, with a nice Nitro Cell elimination onto Todd. Repix, pressure mounting. Oda now able to get into piano control, and with both piano and bathroom under control for Team Bliss, they eventually make this pretty easy. 11-1 versus 2. Does have information on both of them, although he does get tagged ever so slightly. The ping, the wall bang, Oda with the elimination. In the end, though, Bliss do actually take this half 4-2.
Another dominant round from Bliss to close out the first half. Welcome back from the halftime break. They do lead 4-2 heading into the second of regulation. Bar will be the first round, or the first sight rather, attempted here by Team Bliss. And Oda Star Fragger is going to nerf himself a little bit in the frag department. 6 picking onto the Clash, looking to maybe stall out some time here against Rhythm.
Yeah, I don't think a 4-2 half in the end is actually spot on. Honestly, Rhythm had a couple of good rounds. They fought pretty bravely after the first 2 rounds, right? Like, the first 2 rounds were as one-sided as I've seen in a long while. I mean, 2 flawless rounds to open up a match. I'm actually not sure I've ever seen that before. But nonetheless, Rhythm then fought back to their credit. You know, you win a round, then you lose a round, then you win a round, and they're involved even in the rounds that they then lost from that point onwards. So I think 4-2, spot on. We'll see what they've got now capability-wise on their attack on a map like Chalet. It should be able to see them have somewhat of a chance of sending this one to OT, for instance.
Okay, pretty interesting setup here from Bliss. So they're playing up above behind that main pillar, and they've actually created lines of sight down in towards that dining hallway. So I can only assume a lot of emphasis is being placed on holding this position, right? They've also got 2 Kona stations at least on the library stairs. So Repix and Oda are probably going to just sit here, and Oda's going to act like a mobile deployable shield. So instead of having the stationary shield down, Repix is just going to play behind the Clash. If he takes any damage, he'll fall back, get healed, and just replace that position over and over and over again. So this is going to be pretty challenging for Rhythm to deal with. There are a couple of ADS devices covering this position as well, so it's going to come down to how effectively they could dump that utility and not throw bodies at the waiting hands, of course, of Repix.
This first round certainly going to be tallying. A 5-2 lead to Bliss would put Rhythm right on the back foot, but 4-3, that's up for grabs. Rex inside of Piano. I mean, Repix, talk about top of library stairs shield. I like the innovation.
I like this. I really hope it works, honestly. Like, this is smart.
Shield that can move, cuz. I mean, it's honestly very smart. So, fortunately, that shield now no longer at the top of library stairs. AFX will swing out from Piano. Found the kill onto Jigsaw after he did find the opening pick onto Drex. 4 versus 4.
Pretty neutral trade, the Jaeger for the Capital, so they kind of cancel each other out, I would say. Neither going to have a massive impact in the later stages of this round had they have been dead or alive. Drex maybe a bit of a loss there in terms of the bolt utility, but either way, nothing to write home about. Vex and AFX double down. 4v2, Oda left alongside Todd. You could even make the argument it is a bit of a 1v4 as Oda walking around with that Clash on his back, going to make a lot of noise and not the best in terms of fragging and finding kills.
How is this guy 10-1? No, you know what I mean. Like, it's, you know, they've still lost a couple of rounds as well, and yet he's not really been dying that often. Headshot onto AFX, make it 11-1 now. Not expecting him to clutch the 1v3 from here, Guz, but I would almost expect him to run to the other side of the map and keep this KDA.
Attackers are activating
Maybe.
the diffuser.
He doesn't, though. Aww. Probably should have.
Jesus, that's a bit dirty.
That's a nice one. Nice round as well for Rhythm. Makes it 4-3, and they looked pretty good while doing it. Ended up cutting apart the defense of Team Bliss, and the Clash experiment probably didn't quite go down so well.
Yeah, it's something a little bit different. Unfortunately for Bliss, the lineup from Rhythm was probably one of the most difficult combination of counters against the Clash, because they had the Capital that could just flush them out with the Flame Bolt. They also had the Zofia, which can concuss the shield and knock it back. And there was plenty of other secondary utility that could have been used to dump the ADS devices and nade them out, flash them out, etc. And we saw that. So maybe that's something that Bliss needs to attempt when they have a better lineup against them to suit them. Better in the sense that there's less utility to dump them out, no Capital, etc. So I hope that we see that return at some stage when it's a little bit more appropriate, but yeah, on that occasion it's not quite working out. That is going to force a rotation over towards Kitchen. We'll see the castle being brought in here by Oda alongside the Aruni, so quite a bit of denial in terms of entrance. And some of those lines of sight, deployable shield on Kitchen as well to play deep inside of there. Keen to see how much of an influence they try to have on the top floor. We often see teams on the attack wanting control above. There's a lot you can manipulate down below, and I can only assume that with Buck being available, that will be the play.
And the other thing to remember with Rhythm as well, guys, they've had that history of matches where they finish, say, a 7-5 kind of loss. Happened a lot in Stage 2. Even in Stage 1, they were renowned for those sort of overtime kind of losses. A team that was always so close but could never quite get the dub. And that's the challenge for them here. Is this going to be another close loss? You know, another kind of honorable loss? Or are they going to be able to really contest and push Bliss all the way, maybe even find the win?
Who knows? Pretty slow progression from them so far, but at least library has been obtained. Drex and AFX can now begin to drone ahead. Office is free real estate, no one playing the half-wall position, so Novax will be able to open up that double wall. Repix does pose a threat inside of bathroom, and Jigsaw's playing deep inside of bedroom. I think there's even a third defender actually up above, so interesting here from Bliss, playing very, very deep back in towards the top floor. It is Oda actually behind the bed there, so yeah, a little bit more defensive to what we might see from other teams who love that half-wall position, but can definitely still work.
Pod down below. On the Valkyrie with a Nitrocell in the back pocket. The only one that Team Bliss actually have. 3 bulletproof cameras though. So information galore in this particular round.
Time to make a new door.
VX though. They look to open up this wall, and now the problem with kind of ignoring the top floor though is that it does mean Team Bliss still have all of that vert control.
Bomb has been located.
If you don't have top floor, you can't win the round. I mean, it's pretty simple. We very, very rarely see it actually be a success. You need to have, you don't necessarily need to have direct control above, but at least pressure to prevent defense from gaining vert control up above, creating those lines of sight. And we can see already these deep angles behind these deployable shields. We also saw gas babes in the hands of Shade are going to prove to be really, really difficult to deal with. So Bliss well and truly at the advantage at the moment.
35 seconds remaining. Team Bliss. They hold on from here, win this round, make it 5-3. A little bit of heartbreak to Rhythm if they can't win it from here.
Flashbang away.
Seems like Rhythm are kind of stalled out here, stuck, unable to really make that next step. They know that they haven't got vert control. They know that Bliss have really got all of the angles covered. Jigsaw inside of Office, 10 seconds remaining. Ghoul absolutely beaten to a pulp. The Vex can't even get this plant down. He is so low, goes for it again, but they've already lost Leb and AFX. 5 versus 3. Now Vex is actually going to be able to get this diffuser down. Drex finds a shot back. Drex has got 2 all of a sudden. Makes it a 3 versus 3 with the plant down. Team Bliss, despite the vert control, have just started to lose a couple of players. Ghoul, now Vex, they've got some angles here.
Both so low on HP though. Ghoul does have West main cross. Oda sees the gun, finds the kill. No Vex now left in the 1 versus 3, taken down by Jigsaw. Will retake the site, reclaim that diffuser, disable it in the process, and Team Bliss will be able to win the round.
Defenders have disabled the bomb diffuser.
Yeah, kind of messy towards the end, which I think
Failed.
is
Defenders
indicative of the fact that Rhythm never got vert control, never really put much pressure above or anything like that. Bliss were able to eventually, you know, sort of reconvene and retake the site. It was more so messy just simply because, well done to Drex, hit some nutty shots and was able to get it down to a 3 versus 3, but Bliss holding on. And it just felt Rhythm's attack kind of just got a little bit unstuck. It was almost like, all right, we tried above, didn't work. We're just going to go down below, see what happens, and ended up, honestly, almost making something of that, but just not enough.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it was just one-dimensional. As I said, you need to have control above, or at the very least, someone's just up there applying pressure and stopping the likes of Jigsaw denying the plant from above. If Jigsaw had played that a little bit better, honestly, the round would have been over a lot earlier because he did just narrowly miss that denial from above. Had he played it a little bit better, Rhythm wouldn't have been able to get that plant down. So if they want to go for that dining and take and hit it more directly, they need to have someone still above. If you haven't cleared those players there, they'll be in a great position to deny the plant. So a slight oversight there from Rhythm, and Bliss doing a good job to read into that. Able to retake site, good composure, as you would expect. And yeah, a little bit of a worrying sign there from Rhythm, who are struggling a little bit to get consistency in this matchup. We're seeing shining lights here and there, but just not quite enough. They are in general being outclassed.
We'll see if this tactical timeout can maybe reignite things for Rhythm a little bit. They've been good. They've been enjoyable to watch. after the first 2 rounds. Really, if you actually get rid of those first 2 rounds, it's 3-3 since then, which is probably a fair representation of the match. Nonetheless, though, we can't get rid of the first 2 rounds. They are there, and that's why it's 5-3. Bliss now on the verge of potentially grabbing
Attackers need to locate and defuse
match
the bomb.
point. You're on defense as we head into round number 9 now. Once again, we're seeing a bit of Thunderbird. How have you seen the new operator, Guz? I mean, I personally find it hard to sort of judge the effectiveness of the chrono stations.
When Thunderbird was announced, I didn't think she would have too much of an impact, and the main basis for that argument is the fact that the headshot percentage is, I don't know, let's for argument's sake, somewhere from like 40 to 60%. So in almost half of every engagement, your health has no dictate. It doesn't dictate if you win the fight because one shot
10
equals a
seconds
death for a
remaining.
headshot. So in that regard, I didn't think it would be too useful, but we are seeing it employed in some of these positions where you have someone hunkered down, they're playing for their life, and they need to stay alive as long as possible. On Chalet, for example, we saw it on Library Stairs. On this objective, maybe inside of Solar or Half Wall, you can place those Kona stations, and they will have an impact. I haven't seen necessarily where Repix has actually placed them, so I guess we'll find out. But yeah, probably having more of an impact so far, and will likely only be innovated upon more. Specker last night said that he thought Thunderbird was going to be really, really impactful, so we'll have to wait and see.
I do want to ask you, though, 5 Nitrocells on the side of Team Bliss. In the prior round, they had 1. They've now upgraded to 5.
Well, 4. Oda has shield.
No, Jigsaw's got C4 as well. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, 4. Okay. Wait, hang on a sec. Why does it say 5?
Yeah. I think it's a little bit buggy at the moment. But
Oh.
so it's like the grenades. Remember last night it was showing like 6 nades for like
yeah.
2 people or whatever it was. Anyway,
I can't count
you
either
just got to
as well.
tidy up on your color skills before tomorrow night.
No, on my counting skills.
Well, that too. It is an astute observation though. 4 nitros is still quite a bit.
There's
First
one.
one from Shade doesn't hit the mark. Drex has actually done a good job here to get solo control, and Shade is in a pretty poor position here. Honestly, he is caught in a really bad spot. Drex should be able to swing this.
Still another 3 Nitrocells to contend with as well. Minute and a half. Todd over towards blue, and this should be a kill. Oh, actually a bit of a pre-fight from Leb. Almost caught Todd. Todd does not lose that fight though. Shade ended up getting the kill onto Drex as well. Shade though, maybe just pushed out a little too aggressively inside of Solarium. Does give a kill back to Rhythm, makes it 4 versus 3.
Good intel being gathered here by Jigsaw and those black eye cameras. Another nitro wasted, however. I think it did prevent the wall from getting open. No, it did not. Nice line of sight and entry point now established for the attack. Bliss, though, with the man advantage, should be able to hold on.
2 left. Todd and Repix with Nitrocell still available for Team Bliss.
Bomb
Make it
located
1
by
left.
attackers.
And make it none left. This one, though, how about lucky last from Todd? They had 4 of them. It took the final one to find a kill, but it's 4 versus 1 anyway. AFX with a bit of a ping, bit of information, and we'll be able to capitalize on it. He gets the kill onto Todd, but he is stuck at trophy stands, and he ain't going anywhere. It's match point, Guz, and you start to think this one's slipping away from Rhythm.
Decent groundwork there by Rhythm. They did manage to get the wall open. They probably went too far off attempting to get a plant down, but it was a very different approach to what we saw from Bliss. They weren't really applying as much pressure on the double window cross. They were really struggling getting control of bathroom, which meant
blue,
they
and
they
this
couldn't
should
have
be
that sort
a
of pincer that we did see from Bliss on their attacks. So a bit of a stark contrast there. Was eventually punished. Probably could have been a lot worse for the attack had Bliss have actually used their nitro cells a little bit more effectively. Only 1 netting a kill. But yeah, just across the board again, Bliss outclassing their opponents, and Rhythm, at least in comparison to their opponents, a little bit more lost. But again, they've had a roster change, and yeah, they're not one of the strongest teams in the region. So we're looking to see them just improve.
So 3 match points now for Team Bliss. And Rhythm find 1 last little ounce of ability to get back into this match. Or is it a bridge too far? I would suggest it's the latter. Team Bliss, of course, the kings of best of 1. Oda has just been impeccable, though. 13-2-1. By far and away, Guz, the MVP of the night so far.
I would say so. If you could do something special here on the Clash, I'd be even more impressed, because last time he whipped it out, it was completely useless at the top of Library Stairs. It seems like they're probably going to go for a similar approach here. Repix, again, bringing that Thunderbird. Now, thankfully, for Bliss, they don't have that Capitao to contest with like they did last time. So if anything, it should be a little bit more effective. Still 9 flashbangs, I guess you have to deal with, and the nades from Ghoul, but I do think it will be a little bit more achievable.
Yeah, Jigsaw's been a little bit quiet so far. 6-4 and 3, but it's not just the Jigsaw show, is it? It's a team effort. And on any given night, any of the Bliss members can all pop off and have big games and carry the load. What makes them so scary as a team. Spending this bar game site, they'll leave Solarium as an entry point for Rhythm. Of course, Oda, top of Library Stairs, as the makeshift shield. And then they've got the other one over towards the chimney position on the mezzanine.
Jigsaw, one of the best fraggers in OS, tasked with holding that position, and he's probably the kind of player you want playing there. Still taking swift control over towards Office with the rest of the team. Leb setting up on the window. He can flashbangs in towards this position. Top Library Stairs. That's the key location that Oda on Clash is trying to hold with Repix behind.
Throwing flash grenade. Frag grenade out.
Time is just starting to tick away a bit. They have not been able to deal with Oda. I think the issue last time was Oda pushed closer towards Library. I think if he does get displaced, he probably needs to go back down Library Stairs and not to give up that position and to split away from his teammates.
Oh, this is interesting.
Okay. It's a little bit different. Shade even going for a peek here. I think he might have thought he had some sort of information, but didn't. Ghoul actually found the kill onto Jigsaw. I'm not sure if that was just sort of like a guess, Guz, or if he thought he had info.
Yeah.
But the round is falling away from Bliss here.
Yeah, either way, it does leave 2 on site. Now 3 as he rotates back towards it, but yeah, basically no one left. Todd now just inside of Barstock looking to hold on in the 1v5. It's fallen apart here.
Okay.
For Bliss. Flawless from Rhythm.
I don't want to take anything away from Rhythm, but that was a strange round from Bliss. Just a little bit strange. Kovacs paying off. Cool.
Look, we've seen it twice now, the Clash and the Thunderbird on Library Stairs, and
no, it's not working.
Not a fan. Nah, it's not working. I really wish it would, but it just isn't. And honestly, Rhythm didn't even do that great of a job clearing at that time. They burnt the ADSs with flashbangs, they sent in nades, and they didn't actually do a whole lot, yet it still didn't quite stick. So either the execution isn't there from Bliss, or just the setup is fundamentally flawed. I think seeing it twice now, I'm probably leaning more in towards it just being flawed, and it's probably not really the play. Now, one thing I need to know is, IQ's eyes, dude, they are 100% different on this operator preview screen, and it is absolutely tripping me. I don't know what it is about them, but they are different, and it's really, really annoying me. Sorry,
Cool.
I just had to...
No one asked though, but anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
I was actually about to say that you could, in the interview to come, actually ask about the Clash Thunderbird setup and get some...
If Bliss win.
Well, if they win, I guess it's 6-4 now. Rhythm at least made this a little bit more of a contest with 2 rounds separating these two teams. We head down to Kitchen Dining. I do kind of expect Bliss to win from here. It would be definitely quite controversial if they don't.
Controversial?
It would be controversial.
Controversial?
I can't speak English today.
I thought you were trying to make some shitty joke, but no, you just misspoke.
No, I did.
God, I did not look forward to listening to you tomorrow night, but
Attackers have located a bomb.
anyway. I do look forward to concluding this match potentially here in round 11. And Rhythm, they put up a bit more of a fight, head this game to overtime. Now, I did mention IQ's funny eyes in the op selection phase, but she isn't to be laughed at. Did get buffed heading into Crystal Guard. She can now spot out exactly what gadgets are on her scanner. She can ping them out to teammates as well, so she's quite effective in finding utility. And with Valkyrie being available in the hands of Todd, he will be able to find those cameras and counter them directly. So Keen to see just how much of an impact Drex will have, as well as the scanner. I mean, he just has a fantastic primary weapon as well that he can work with. And there you go. You can see him pinging out those Vault cams. Right on cue.
It's like a little peek, shoot and run and hope you don't get caught in the process. This is good though for Rhythm. And honestly, no pun intended, but if they can win this round, they can probably find themselves with a bit of rhythm going into the next round to maybe send it to OT. Which if they can send it to OT from this point, guys, they would match stage 2 their points already in the first Playday.
They need to clear above though. Last time they played this objective, that was their downfall. They need to get control above, or at least post someone there to prevent Bliss from denying the plant and being in a position to retake site. They have blown open the wall. No one actually playing that position at the moment from Bliss. But as we saw last time, Jigsaw rotated late. Look at him. He's lurking inside a bedroom. He's ready and waiting for that call to come through for the execute. He's just going to go to half wall and deny the plant if no one from Rhythm is there to stop him.
Pretty sure we saw Ghoul and AFX. Ghoul actually has just gone back down. AFX, I think, was holding library stairs. They almost need to sort of push in and, at the very least, take Piano and office control if possible, or at least put pressure on it, make it very difficult to stay above dining. 54 seconds, still a bit of time. Of course, that wall has already opened up for Rhythm, but yeah, as you already pointed out, guys, this is kind of how it played out last time. It's very one-dimensional. Bliss still have vert control.
Echo Drones as well, ready waiting. Those Yokais can deny the plant as well. Jigsaw above. I mean, they've got the perfect pinch here. They are ready and waiting on the side of the defense. It's going to be very, very challenging for Rhythm. Yeah,
and Rhythm's just going to have to hit some nutty shots, really. Jade getting some free intel. AFX, well, if they're going to have to hit it, may as well get the first one out of the way. Now they've got the man advantage. Todd, ready to swing from West Main. He's got a nice little angle, I think, over towards Novax. Yokai drone goes up, then comes straight back down. Now Novax can get the plant down. Frag grenade does go out, but it's unable to find anything. That's the Yokai drone being successful onto Novax. The time, it's pretty close. I don't know if he's got this. He doesn't. Wait, Rhythm's still won the round. Wait, hang on. Hang on. How much time did he have? How much time on the kills there?
Can we get a replay?
We need I need like a slow motion replay.
Yeah. Slow-mo replay, Prod, please.
I was not even looking. I was only eyes on that timer, guys. I missed the kills. And I'm pretty sure they just won the round for Rhythm. Well, I definitely did.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I need a replay to digest that round again because that was pretty wild. Rhythm did a decent job setting up in terms of establishing themselves for the plant. AFX did really good work up above to find Jigsaw for that kill, but yeah, it just fell apart there. So many kills raining out. Yeah, very difficult. I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, I'm literally just sitting there glued at that timer, and then as it ticks down, I'm looking at like the red timer at the top, near the match point, and I'm like watching the two of them, and I'm thinking, actually, I'm pretty sure this plant timer is not going to be done in time. And then suddenly I look at the kill feed, and there's like 3 kills. Crazy end to a round. Rhythm, can they force OT? Can they match their point score from stage 2 against the king of best of ones, guys? Or is this going to be heartbreak again? Is this just setting them up for another 7-5 loss?
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
Who knows? Rhythm don't like to be let down easy, that's for sure, though. They like to make it as painful as possible, but on the same token, they're really putting up a great fight here. That last round, yeah, look, still don't quite know how to digest that one, but they put down a really good effort to hold out the onslaught there from Bliss. They put so much plant denial and did a really good job in trying to disrupt up above, but yeah, wasn't quite enough inside of the defense. And now Bliss under a little bit of pressure. They only lost a single best of 1 in stage 2. They are the BO1 Kings. They almost went flawless. Imagine losing the opening Playday to Rhythm. That would not go down well.
It would also make their task of finishing first once again very difficult if it does play out that way. It's not like it's season defining or anything, but boy, is it not ideal. That's whatsoever, basically. What a position Team Bliss now find themselves in, or at least for Rhythm to find themselves in. A chance to send it to OT. Master Office the Team Bliss, it almost seems like they're shutting up shop already, guys. Like a very defensive approach here. Not much in way of forward-facing aggression towards Rhythm, just allowing them to push up through the mezzanine, through library, take control, and then make their way through office.
Mez wall now opened by Novex with that exothermic charge. AFX monitoring the run out as the Thermite will drone forward. Half wall pinged out. Shade playing that position. A Kona station alongside to aid him in his ventures. We'll go to heal him back up if he takes any damage. In fact, he is overstimmed at the moment. He can try and swing wide. A little bit risky there considering he has a holo in hand. Now, he's not being pressured from the office balcony outside here to the east. So he can play a little bit more loosely, but if that gets tightened up, Rhythm should be able to flush this player out and then go for a half-wall plant.
Just under a minute remaining. 5 versus 5. It couldn't really get any more tense than this. Shade's going to find a head, though. Novex, oh, he found a second. Oh, no. Is it heartbreak once again for Rhythm? They've gotten so close, guys, to getting it to OT. They deserve a point from this game. AFX is still up, 11-8-3. They need him to find a few kills. Lev gets caught as well. Todd goes down. The trade at least comes through from Drex. But unfortunately, he's the solo in 1 versus 4. Heartbreak once again for Rhythm. The early GG. How many times can this team lose 7-5? That is just mentally draining if you're Rhythm. Team Bliss, though, secure all 3 points.
It was a great start to the map for Bliss. 2 flawless rounds to open up proceedings. Then it got a little bit dicey, but they did a good job to correct the ship and they sailed to that 3-point victory, or 3 points to the standings, a 7-5 result. I don't think they'll be overly happy necessarily with how that map played out, but a win is a win at the end of the day, and it's only the first Playday, so there's always going to be some cobwebs to blow out.
Yeah, exactly. I think you've summarized it really well there. For Team Bliss, they get the 3 points, they escape. Honestly, they just escape what could have been a large upset there. Unfortunately, though, for Rhythm, another 7-5 loss. Again, just falling short. Again, an honorable loss. Vast, this is basically Rhythm that we have been seeing stage 1, stage 2. They look all right in some of these rounds, but they can never get points.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking seeing it happen, you know, over and over again. They just struggle to start off the game strong. They didn't even get a kill until round 3, so yeah, I think this game for them was just not starting off strong. It's a big point.
Guz, obviously for Team Bliss, it started off peachy. They had the 2 flawless rounds. We thought, right, this is going to go to script, but credit to Rhythm. They threw the script in the bin, and they really brought a contest here on Chalet. Ultimately, though, for Team Bliss, this is a map they don't have a whole lot of experience on. They've gained probably some invaluable experience courtesy of Rhythm.
Yeah, the best of 1 season against some of these quote-unquote weaker opponents is a good opportunity to test out maps and get some mileage on them in a competitive environment when there is a little bit of pressure and you know, you really want to perform. Yeah, Bliss, they tried out some experimental things, the Clash and the Thunderbird combo. We saw a couple of different setups here and there. Didn't all work out, but at the end of the day, you know, they got the dub over the board. They got, yeah, dub over the board. I don't even know if that makes sense.
They got the dub over the board.
But yeah, it worked out for them.
For Vast, I mean, seriously, this is heartbreaking for Rhythm. For Bliss, it's job done. They'll move on from this. But for Rhythm, where do they go from this? Because it's another 7-5 loss. Again, no points. Do they just look at this as like, I don't even know. Is it just same old, same old? Are they even happy with this sort of result? Because obviously we know that Team Bliss had a very successful best of 1 sort of regular stage campaign in stage 2. So this sort of result's actually not that bad on face value, but it's just sort of the same old for Rhythm.
I think the fashion that they lost in probably brought a lot of emotions from last season. It's kind of frustrating seeing Rhythm kind of, they didn't really change their playstyle from last season. It kind of looks like the same old Rhythm. I want to see some change from these guys. I want to see some more aggression, some more risk. You know, they are facing relegations. They've got nothing to lose. I think they're just playing a bit too passive, and Bliss were just able to play to their strengths and were given the room to do what they want to do.
Oda was fascinating. He was extraordinary. He was everything, guys. 2.51 player rating, 13-4, +1 on the entry. Did just about everything. Generally, when it does come to Bliss, and this is just my observation of it, it seems like it's always like one player goes absolutely insane, and the other 4 all have pretty good games.
Yeah, probably a fair assumption. And I mean, often when we talk about that sort of play style, the terms or the flags of inconsistency start to arise. But for whatever reason, in the best of 1 format, which inherently is a little bit more volatile, they seem to thrive in it. So it seems to work out for them. Oda, despite playing Clash a handful of rounds, yeah, still able to frag out, having quite an impact. But again, it wasn't like anyone else was really lagging behind, and overall, just a solid performance. Jigsaw, arguably a little bit quieter, but again, still had an impact when required, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, Bliss as a team, they can all stand up, have big moments. Let's go and have a chat, though. The big man himself, Oda, fresh off of that victory, fresh off of a great performance. Oda, I must say, firstly, probably not the result you were looking for, despite getting the 3 points. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, I'd say it's fair. Honestly, Rhythm came out strong tonight, I guess. Like, obviously the first few rounds we had them, like 2 flawless rounds, and then, you know, they bring it back. They didn't just, like, take those rounds, and, like, their mental was still strong, I guess, for them. Like, they bring it back, and, like, well done to them for keeping their heads up.
Yeah, Oda, good to see you as always. Keen to hear your thoughts on Spruce. Of course, jumping on board, a lot of experience in that big head of his. How much of an impact has he had so far?
Spruce has actually done a lot of work, to be honest. Like, every day I've seen him in the chat just posting a bunch of, like, spreadsheets on teams and stuff, and just, you know, doing what he has to do. He's actually done a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that was my question as well, but
sorry.
I guess I want to talk about, like, obviously you guys are quite a good BO1 team in the regular season. You're very dominant. I want to talk about what you guys did in the off season. Obviously, you lost the Chiefs in the BO5 finals for stage 2. I just want to know, is there anything in particular you guys have worked on? Was there anything highlighted from that tournament that you guys were like, all right, we need to improve on this for next season?
I think it's changing strats around. Like, we're always doing the same stuff. Like, so we play our best of ones, and then it comes to playoffs, we're still running the same stuff. So I think it's going to come down to changing it up a bit, and you know, just playing more maps, I guess, working on every map, so we have more room to, like, move around with, not just like the same map, same playstyle.
Oda, before I give you the floor, I do just want to ask about the Thunderbird and the Clash at the top of Library Stairs. Didn't quite work out, but I like to see the innovation. What's the go there?
Normally it's just teams, you know, they use the Capital and the nades, and you lose a lot of HP from that. So, like, the Thunderbirds there, you know, we have Todd smoking from below, which install them, and then it's just like Rebix getting his HP back up, or even me, and then we can just contest them again and not let them take that control. But yeah, I don't know, they just gunned us on that play. It didn't work.
I love to see at least some innovation there from you guys. Any final thoughts, shout outs to the fans?
Shout out to the fans in the chat, shout out to Team Bliss, you know, always looking out for us, and just like, yeah, good org, great org.
Bliss up. Best of luck, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Bliss up, see you tomorrow.
So, Team Bliss, they survived the scare, guys. 7-5 victory over Rhythm. They get all 3 points. Unfortunately for Rhythm, it's happened again. That seems to be the story from this particular matchup. Guz, you mentioned sort of brushing off the cobwebs. That's kind of probably what it feels like the most. But most importantly, what Oda sort of touched on there is just trying some different things here. Using the regular stage, new maps, some new strats. And I guess because of that, you're maybe not going to get those 7-2 stomps.
Yeah, and I think that links back into, I mean, my question for us as well, Spruce jumping on board. I think that's probably going to allow them, if Spruce does seriously put in the work, they'll have a lot more groundwork to actually go off. That will deepen their map pool, their strategy pool. We won't see the same old things. We did see some of that innovation today, not all of it successful, but again, yeah, like you mentioned, good to see them testing the waters a little bit. I can only assume that's going to improve. I'm keen to see them trial out some other maps. If they have other stuff cooked up, especially on the reworked maps, they could be a real threat.
Vast, final thoughts, I guess, on this matchup before we wrap it and throw to a break?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with everything. It's good to hear that, Bliss are kind of working on, those mistakes that were apparent in the playoffs. And, you're going to have games like this where they're not going to be the cleanest, but it will be better for them long term if they can have a better map pool.
Definitely agree with that. I think the long-term benefits should pay off for Bliss, and they have the short-term benefits as well, all 3 points. One game to go tonight, Chiefs versus Wildcard on the other side of the break.
Bomb located by attackers. 5 seconds remaining. Attack. Attackers have dropped the bomb.
At Livin, we are breaking the stigma of mental health. Everything we do is about empowering people to speak up, because it ain't weak to speak. Join us on the 14th of October as we host our first ever giving day, called Giving for Living. Over a 12-hour period, all donations will be matched through the generosity of our matching donors. This means that $20 transforms to $40, which can provide 2 conversations with a school-aged child about mental health. $100 transforms to $200, which can provide 10 conversations with a school-aged child about mental health, and so on. Donate and follow the campaign at livin.org/giving. Help us have more conversations with the youth of Australia so we can continue to break the stigma of mental health.